All right, Joey, so we're back again.
Woo!
Tipsy Tech Talk. I'm Joseph Reibold, local IT manager. And this is
Joey Ruff, local bar manager, beer drinker, bourbon enthusiast, yada yada yada. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, that it is.
So
All right, so we're drinking not bourbon this time, not a cocktail, but a beer.
yes,
And go ahead and just explain a little bit about what we're doing today and why we're doing it.
my pleasure. So as you know, it is January. January famously is you've kicked all the calories from the holidays. You're trying to get back into shape. A lot of people are doing dry January, which means you're not drinking anything at all. So we thought it might be fun to focus a little bit more this time on non-alcoholic beers, which have hit a really big kind of surge in popularity over the last few years.
Okay.
Lots of different brands, so many to choose from, it's crazy. So we thought, I've got a few samples here of different brands that we get to try. Some of them I've had before, some of them I have not. Let's talk a little bit about beer, and because this is only our second episode, we thought it would be a crime and kind of silly not to have any alcohol at all.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we are going to pick a beer that has alcohol in it in each category. We've got several different types of beer that we're going to try, non-alcoholic versions of, and then we will try the alcoholic version of it and see how they compare. Because, you're just finding us, you're just discovering us, we're just discovering you. And the last thing we want to do is steer you wrong. So we want to give you kind of a test sample of, if you like this alcoholic beer that we are drinking and you trust our opinions, maybe you don't yet, maybe you will, on the other stuff that we drink after, we'll get to know each other a little bit more, tastes and profiles and things like that. So, first drink in our glass right here is garage beer. We've got garage beer. Garage beer, like non-alcoholic beers, has seen somewhat big surge in popularity lately. It is, I guess I should pull back before I do that. This first row we have is classic American light lagers. Lots of different styles. We can talk a little bit about each style as we get into them. But since we're in America, I figure we'd start with every American's favorite beer. Some of it is so light American lager, it's not even beer really anymore. But that's okay. I used to hate on beers. I used to, the town runs a lot of Mick Ultra drinkers and Bud Light drinkers and Miller Lite drinkers and classic American lager style beer.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact: pretty much every style of beer you've ever heard of originated in Europe.
Okay.
So there's only a couple different styles of beer that started in America. One of them is the Kentucky Common, which came out of Louisville area, and then the California Steamer, which came out of Steamerland, California. But the Americans have made the light lager specifically super, super popular. And like I was saying, I used to hate on those beers because there's not a ton of flavor in a Bud Light. And if you're drinking like a European style, like a Vienna lager, way more flavor to it, way more nuance to it. Almost like drinking bourbon in some of these beers where you get different flavor notes and you're like, oh, that's an interesting thing. But what they do so well, and I heard a guy on a podcast recently talking about, he has nothing but respect for these big American breweries. He said because every brewmaster in these places, they can brew any kind of beer they want.
Mm-hmm.
What they do so well is give the people what they want.
Oh,
right. Yeah. They make this beer, whether you like it or not, and I'm not trying to hate on it. On a hot day, a cold beer is the right beer. So it doesn't really matter what brewery it comes from. You get off that lawnmower, crack open a can, yes please. And but they brew it intentionally, and they brew it in mass quantities, and it all tastes exactly the same every single time.
Yeah.
It's by design. So you got to give them mad props and mad respect for that.
Yeah.
But we are in Kentucky, and I believe in drinking local. Wherever you go, wherever you travel, drink local. We are drinking Garage Beer is a Kentucky beer. Kentucky kind of craft beer, really hitting the mainstream, but it started in Grafton, Kentucky, which is just south of the border from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
And because the Kelsey footballers went to, I think they went to school in Cincinnati for college, they had ties to the area. They actually, in recent years, bought into the Garage Beer Company.
Okay.
They didn't start it, they didn't found it, but they are now part owners, and they've been involved in the marketing. They've been involved in getting it, out there, and so you will see it in a lot more places these days than you used to. I'd never heard of it before we came to Kentucky. Now, whenever we're down in Nashville, it's all over Nashville.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Garage Beer is where we're starting. This is our test beer, 4% ABV and 95 calories. This is designed to be like an ultra, like a Bud Light, that kind of thing. In my opinion, a little bit more flavor. The can says it's beer flavored beer. I think that's right on the money. So It's a good place to start.
I also think it's a good place to start because it's one I'm pretty familiar with. Not prior to me starting to come here and spend my weekends with you guys, but here, especially recently, I walked through the door here and the bar back or the bartender almost immediately, hey, I got your Garage Beer. And they get it to me, and it's just super reliable. I mean, just every time you crack open that can, it's going to be a good flavor, good taste.
Absolutely. And it's one you can drink all day, every day, and not worry about feeling crappy the next day.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not, you get into a lot of these, we got some IPAs over there. You get into some IPAs are 8-9%.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll hit you hard real quick.
Oh yeah, you take 4 or 5 of those, and you're like, oh well, I can feel that a little bit quicker.
Yeah. So, next up on the table we have Budweiser Zero. I talked about the classics. This is the biggest, one of the biggest, maybe the biggest. I don't have the stats. You can fact check me later, but biggest brewery in America for sure. Bud, Anheuser-Busch. So we're gonna crack this guy open, see how this compares to the Mac Daddy of them all.
I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever had a Budweiser, Zero or otherwise.
Yeah. I have, on occasion, I've had more Bud Light than Bud.
Yeah.
But, same brewery, same consistency. So, cheers, sir. Nice golden color.
Yeah.
So... Okay. My first thought is, once you get past the bubbles, there's no flavor. So, if you're used to craft or just a classic American lager, and you're trying to observe dry January, this is a really good beer to drink if you don't want water. You have about the same alcoholic content. And, this is actually 0%. So, and only 50 calories. So you get a little bit more calories than water, slightly more flavor than water, unless you're on a well. And then, it's good. You can sit and drink it all day and not realize you're drinking
beer.
A beer. Or non-alcoholic beer,
yeah,
for that matter. It's a little beery, but for the most part.
There's just a slight tinge of a flavor there. It's very slight.
An afterthought. And back here, just so you know, I'm not pouring on the floor. We have a dump bucket. It's important. We always say drink responsibly, or at least we will be saying that. But it's always very good to, when you're tasting something, especially tasting as much of this as we will be doing. Most of it is non-alcoholic beer, but to be considered non-alcoholic beer, you really only have to have less than 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these will have some alcohol content in it. So if you don't want to drink it all, don't drink it all. We pour it out. If you're at a wine tasting, if you're at a whiskey tasting, and you're going to be driving, try not to drink all of it. Pour it out. Swish it around in your mouth, get the flavor. Or if you just don't like it, don't drink it. So, alright, this next one, Athletic Light. Athletic has been around for a few years now, a good few years, 4 or 5 years, as far as I know. And I first found them. They were brought to me when I was running a bar down in Nashville, and what was explained to me, there's a couple different ways. You may ask, you brew beer. It naturally has alcohol in it. There's 2 ways to make a non-alcoholic beer. The first is to make a beer, which I would guess that's probably, again, I didn't research this, I would guess that's probably how Budweiser does it.
Yeah.
They made Budweiser, and then you basically burn it off and burn off the alcohol in a vacuum.
Okay.
And so it sucks the alcohol out of the beer. So you make a beer and you burn it off, or you can actually kind of filter it out is another way to do it. But anyway, first way is to make a alcoholic beer, take the alcohol out of it. The second way is, and this is what was explained to me that Athletic does, they brew it in the beginning to not have alcohol in it at all.
Okay.
And you can do that primarily through a specific type of hop that you use for the beer that doesn't have enough sugars and produce the alcohol. Sugars create alcohol. So anyway, this is designed from the ground up to be a non-alcoholic beer.
Okay.
And so it's all very quality controlled. And
you can see it does not have quite a yellow tint to it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more clear.
Oh. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, there's way more flavor in this than either of the 2 beers before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little malty. So I'm gonna say that Athletic, they that is what they do. They use the type of hop that does not produce the alcohol.
Yeah.
So, and you can taste it.
It's strange.
Yeah.
Hitting the first 2, especially the garage beer, and then hitting this, and you're just like that. That's a very different beer.
It's very different beer. It is not a bad beer, but if you're used to either of these first 2, you're not going to like Athletic.
Yeah.
It's going to hit you, and you're going to be like, whoa, no thank you. So, yeah.
No, but the can, I think, saw 25 calories on this one. So you said the Budweiser 0, it was 50.
50 calories, yeah.
So, January, I'm always cutting calories.
Mm-hmm.
In February, I'm cutting calories. I spend March through December bulking, like just eating whatever I want to. January and February, I'm trying to cut calories. So this seems like the beginnings of a good alternative for not intaking so many calories, but still having something other than just plain water.
Sure, yeah. And I guess that is an important distinction to make, too, because if you are... I mean, it all depends on your goal. If your goal is you're just trying to stay sober, Bud works.
Yeah.
If your goal is to be healthier, Athletic would probably be, and I guess maybe that's where their name comes from, Athletic.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to be more health conscious, try to keep people active, try not to make you drink your workout. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
All in all, I say at the end of round 1, I wish we had more garage beer.
I would agree. Yes. I think I would drink either of the 2, but I'm always gonna, I think, pull that garage beer out of the fridge first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Garage beer, if you're listening, Kelsey Brothers, if you're listening, we could use some sponsorship, so reach out.
And we're gonna zoom in a little bit so everybody can see the can. Now I gotta realize that left is right and right is left. So that's what we've been drinking. Oh, by the way, we will be looking through all your comments for the first video to find out what you guys have decided to name the camera. Obviously, we haven't seen that just yet, but when you guys decide what we should name our camera, we will. This time, I brought the remote so I can do fancier stuff, like not look the wrong direction for some portion of the video.
Nice.
But, so we've got a little bit of booze, and we've got a little bit into the non-alcoholic. So what kind of technology are we going to approach in this week's episode?
You promised something last time.
I did. So the last time we talked about the evolution of smartphones and how smartphones came to be, and then I said, in the beginning of the video, I said, and we'll talk about how you listen to them. Then an hour and 48 minutes later, and we had not talked about how you listen to them. So we're going to start off by talking about headphones, because this week's episode is about wearable technology, fitness trackers, all of that kind of thing, body tech, and to start all that out, you, you got to talk about headphones and earbuds and that kind of thing. So we're going to hit some details on that, starting all the way back in the 1880s. Whew. Okay, so everybody thinks headphone, you want to listen to your cell phone, whatever. No, 1880, you had phone operators.
This is pre-Bluetooth.
Yeah, very pre-Bluetooth. But you had phone operators. Most of the time, they were women. They were sitting in a room, and of course, they were listening, talking on the phones the whole day long. And they had this 10-pound single earpiece that they sat on their shoulder. And I don't know if you can imagine having 10 pounds just sitting on your shoulder. I mean, if you had a parrot, maybe. Well, I guess they did talk back too. So, but it was resting on their shoulder. It was 10 pounds. It was just way too much. I mean, obviously, that is not a wearable that is functional for very long. I mean, you start to get like a crick in your neck or something the whole time. 1910, Nathaniel Baldwin, he created the two-ear headphone. Okay. Similar in style to what you imagine as headphones today, but different material, obviously, not quite as sleek, not as stylish, but it was the first approach at having a two-ear headphone.
A well-balanced breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah. It was bad news for chiropractors everywhere.
Yes. 1958, John Koss, he created the stereo headphones for music. So before, you didn't quite have the stereo headphones, but now, in 1958, you do. 1979, Sony created the Walkman.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely could not stand with the headphones of the early 1900s for their Walkmans, so they created these lightweight headphones specifically for listening to music on Walkmans.
Is that the ones with the orange?
So that's
felt covers.
I don't know about felt covers at that time, but that is kind of the noticeable feature of Sony's first headphones is they were orange. Yeah. I think they had two colors. It might have been white was the other one, but
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. Exactly. Actually. So then 1990s, the Discman and then the MP3 player came out, and that kind of changed things pretty drastically. The MP3 player, of course, was the ability to listen to way more than just what your 10, 12 song CD player might be able to do. And the other thing is it changed your jack inputs. Before, they were more 2.5 millimeter, and then they kind of went to the 3.5 millimeter as more of a common standard. So that's about when that happened. 1999, Bose starts supplying headphones to airlines.
Okay.
So the airline companies, everybody goes, they get on a plane, they're going to watch movies. The airline company hands them a pair of headphones. You plug it into your phone, plug it into the little TV on the back of the seat or something, and that's when that started. 1999, that was Bose who really got that underway. 2001, Apple created the iPod, and it came with white wired earbuds. So again, Apple is kind of like doing their thing with the iPod. Last week we talked about the iPhone, so now the iPod is kind of the big thing for how we really started to take over the world, I guess, because 1,000 songs in your pocket was the tagline for iPod. And obviously, if you're going to do that, you need a good pair of earbuds. So Apple decided to package those with the white earbuds.
Plastic earbuds that stuck in your ear.
Yes.
Not comfortable.
Also in 2001, there was another company who was just absolutely taking a slightly different industry by storm, and that was Sony with the PlayStation. They started creating these games that were multiplayer games.
Yep.
The very first one is SOCOM for the PlayStation 2.
I remember that.
It was the first time that you would have a headset that you would consider a gaming headset. You could talk to other people through the game. So pretty cool. That kind of like revolutionized my childhood, I guess, because I grew up with the Xbox 360. Grew up with the Xbox. Grew up with Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 too. But the 360 was the biggest one in high school, and so we were all playing on 360. We were all, we all had headsets. I have a headset that I brought with me from my 360 days, and we'll look at that in just a minute. 2004, the first Bluetooth headset started coming out. This was it was produced in mind for business people. You probably remember seeing movies where everybody had that one little stick hanging out from their ear.
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea.
Okay.
And it was kind of a revolutionary thing. I mean, we went from
wrapped over your ear, right?
Well, a lot of them were, yeah. Because they weren't like AirPods where you could just stick them in your ear and they'd stay. You kind of needed something to hang on to. And I've got one of those that I use every single day at work. So 2007, we talked about last week, the iPhone blew up in 2007. That's the start of it. And because of that, Bluetooth started to become just this game changer in the audio industry. So Bluetooth compatibility between your earbuds and your iPhone, that was like where everything was headed.
Okay.
2010s, Beats by Dre and Skull Candy.
Yeah, Dre.
They said, you got some good audio equipment, let's make it look good. Beats by Dre, they were more commonly the more expensive version. Skull Candy was like the cheap alternative.
Yeah, get it at Target.
Yes, but it was, such a big thing to just make it look sleek and stylish, and so that's what they did. In 2011, Beats had 64% of the market.
Wow.
For headphones sold over $100.
That's crazy.
So in 1 year, they just took over the premium audio headphone industry.
Okay.
2014, Apple then acquires Beats for $3 billion. And the video I was watching that was talking about all this, it said you can see a direct line from Apple acquiring Beats and their release of the AirPods. Just the technology, they took it and they started adapting it, and eventually we got AirPods out here. 2015, Onkyo and Bragi released the first true wireless earphones. Sorry, Apple, you were late to the game on that one. But they were the first headphones that did not have a wire at all. So think AirPods, but a little bit before the AirPods.
I remember the early earbud. They'd go in, but there was a wire that connected.
Right. So most of them did, and I've got a pair of exercise earbuds.
Around.
Yeah. Well, they wrap around the ears, and then they've got a band that goes around the back of the neck. And so I've got a pair of those, but these were the first ones that they didn't have the wire that joined, left and right.
Yeah. Okay.
And somehow they still got surround sound, we'll say. 2016, though, that's when Apple releases the AirPods.
Okay. 2020
is when wireless charging cases started to become available. So you could take your AirPods, stick them in the case, and it would charge them for you.
Yep.
But Apple and everybody else who was making them at that time, they introduced them as a premium feature. So you had to pay ridiculous amounts of money to get this charging case to charge your AirPods.
Of course.
Yes. There was some third-party brands that they started doing it, and
like Skull Candy.
It was the Skull Candy of the 2020s.
Yeah. They're still around.
So the 2022 is when there was a kind of a fad a little bit, but it was bone conduction. So instead of going in your ear to hear the sound, it would actually just vibrate against your bones, and that would give you the same, not the same, but very similar audio input to your ears.
Still allowing your ears to be... You can hear people, right?
Right,
in the room.
Yeah.
So we actually just our son just wanted a pair of those he's a barback at a distillery,
Mhm.
and most of the people he works with, they're allowed to wear those type of headphones while they work.
Yeah.
And he was running around his AirPods,
Mhm.
and he was getting some flack for it. So he's like, I need some of these. So we just bought him a pair of those.
Has he had a chance to use them yet?
I'm sure. I think he probably worked yesterday or the day before, but yeah. So I've not heard how they look, but I did there was a pair at Sam's Club, like on a display, and I did try that out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah?
It is pretty cool. It's almost like telepathy.
Well, you say that. In a little while, we're going to talk about something else that goes beyond the the headphones. That
teaser.
It's super cool. I think it's a little scary. I think so. We'll talk about that later on in the episode. But that's kind of headphones. I've got some that will show. This first one is not headphones like you would listen to in a with your phone or whatever. But
like military grade.
They're actually for metal detectors.
Oh, okay.
It is trim dependable. It's instead of having like a 3.5 or 2.5 millimeter jack, it's got a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
You would plug this into your metal detector. Now this one is. There were other ones that were online that were circa about 1940.
Mm-hmm.
These are not that old.
Okay.
The guy I borrowed these from, he said that his dad had them. Because his dad got into being a metal detectorist, and he would plug these in and go and do it for a little bit. I don't think he got into it real heavy.
I think they call them metal detectives.
Yeah, that's what they should call them, metal detectives. Yeah, that's nice. But with all that being said, these are very similar to the 1910 headphones that were first created.
Interesting.
Very similar body shape and style and the concept of what they are. And yeah, I mean, you can imagine having those things on your head.
I'm gonna. They're all tangled up. All right. It's like a suction. These are like plungers, man. You can clean your toilet with them when you're done.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear?
Yeah, it's like I'm in a tunnel.
Yeah.
And strangely comfortable for a couple of toilet plungers. So.
Yeah, so those are probably, I would imagine, 80s or 90s.
Okay.
I don't know well enough the actual history of that particular pair to know how old they actually are. But, yeah, I mean, just imagine having these things on your head and trying to listen to devices all the time.
Mm.
But we went from that to things like these two. Which these are actually a little like later models, but these are Samsung earbuds.
Okay.
Obviously not wireless, but these were kind of cool because they had the volume controls built into them.
Yeah.
So obviously this is not, and it's got a mic built into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
These are not first edition earbuds by any means, but that was kind of a cool one. And then these guys are Philips, and they were my first over the ears. And I remember running with these, and it was so good that it had this little clip on it that clip it to the top of my shirt. So when I run, I would only yank it off half the time.
And it brings back the Star-Lord orange from the Walkman days.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are probably late 2000s.
Okay.
Then we've got this guy. I told you about the Xbox 360 headset.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the headset I wore, like every Friday night talking to a bunch of my friends from school as we played Black Ops 2 or Minecraft or whatever we were playing at the time. But these, they don't have the 3.5, they had the 2.5 millimeter jack because it plugged into the bottom of the Xbox controller. Yeah. And because of that, the early ones did not play any game audio. It was chat audio only.
Okay.
That changed over time where you could begin to put both in there, but
is that because it was too small? Like it wasn't.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just the way that they were pulling audio in. Okay. I think it was different between the chat features and the game features, and so they had two separate audio inputs, and they only brought one in for whatever reason. But it had a mute switch on it and a volume control.
Nice.
Um,
So you cuss out all your people as the.
yeah. And then I have some JB Endurance Sprints.
Okay.
These are what I use when I'm working out, and I just noticed that I'm starting to fray my cable here.
Uh-oh.
I've probably had these for since college. I mean, going on probably 10 years, maybe.
Okay.
And it's neat. They have this magnetic piece to them.
Nice.
So that you could put it over your shirt and clip it, and then you didn't have to have it over your ears. But it's got a touch button to turn it on.
Okay.
And my biggest complaint about it is it doesn't require your finger to touch it. It just requires anything to touch it.
Yeah.
So it just turns on and off sometimes for no reason.
Well, they're pretty old. So I mean.
Yeah. And then what I use every single day, every single work day, is my Plantronics or Poly brand Voyager 5200. I am the kind of person who likes to be able to talk and use my hands at the same time. In what I do for work, I have to be able to. If I'm either at a keyboard or maybe I'm helping install something or whatever it may be. I have been in attics or in crawl spaces, talking on the phone to whoever's maybe above me in the room above me or something, and trying to accomplish things with still having the use of my hands.
Yeah.
I've crawled through some tight spaces in order to make stuff happen for a customer. So
it's interesting because as far as we've come with headphones, like I've seen it more with like truck drivers, and especially, I mean, personally with the beer distributors and stuff that come and deliver stuff, they will get out of their truck, and you would think they'd be on like iPods, but they're not. They're on some kind of hybrid of like the toilet plungers and the gaming headset.
Yes.
And it's just this kind of like crazy old, big old earpiece and then a giant wraparound mic.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world?
So I've got a gaming headset at home that is a large boom mic and it, double muffs kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I think it's a HyperX brand. I don't have a wireless one. I've got a wired one. I think eventually I'll move to a wireless one. But I was trying to just go for a slightly cheaper option whenever I was buying it. And it's done me pretty well. I mean, it works out pretty good. And it's also interesting. It has the ability to mute the mic if you go past a certain level of up. So I'll be playing a game with a friend or something, and I'll be like, okay, I need to take a drink of water, but I don't want them to hear me gulping down water. So click up, take a drink, clip down, and
auto mutes.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Pretty cool functionality. But that's kind of the history, a little bit of show and tell with the headphones. I think we're probably ready to move on to the next line.
Yeah. Y'all go use the restroom. We're going to reset our table and we're going to get back into the next thing.
All right, Joey. So we're back and everybody can see the different beers that we've got in front of us this time. So explain to everybody what they are.
Yeah, so this time we're coming in with a Pilsner. All beer can be described in one of two categories. You have lagers, which we talked about the most famous lager earlier, American Light Lager, and then you have ales.
Okay.
All beer falls into lagers and ales. We're sticking with the lagers for now with the Pilsner. The Pilsner is another light lager. This originated in the Czech Republic in the 1800s. It's gonna be a little bit, let me say it this way, a traditional Pilsner is going to be a little bit more flavorful, maybe even floral, malty, and kind of a little sweet, but very light in color, very crisp, very, low ABV, a nice brisk carbonation, and, German Pilsner is going to be a little more bitter.
Okay.
This first Pilsner, because, we got thirsty and we wanted a little bit more ABV, than what we're going to get here in a second. This is the Fall City Pilsner. It comes out of Louisville. It's classic. Fall City Brewery's been around for quite a while, but it is their classic Pilsner. And yeah, it's, I'm trying to see ABV on here, but it's not readily available, but this brewery has been around since 1905. Oh, there it is, 4.5% ABV. So, you're going to get a little bit more flavor, quite a bit more flavor.
Yeah. That is good.
Yeah. It's nice. It's very crisp, it's very clean. Not a long lingering finish on the palate. And just a really good, like, hot weather beer.
Yeah.
Pairs well with a lot of different foods. And, you know, another one you can pretty much drink all day.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a little bit more flavor than your American lager. And I had to say traditional lager because some lady wanted to argue with me once. She's like, Miller Lite is a Pilsner. And I was like, not really. She's like, she pulled out her can and she showed it to me and I'm like, okay, technically I guess it is, but if you've ever had a traditional Pilsner and then you drink a Miller Lite, you're going to be like, this tastes nothing like it.
No, I would not
At
classify Miller Lite as a Pilsner.
Other such non-Pilsnery Pilsners that you will know are things like Heineken or Stella, you know, so nothing wrong with those beers, and clearly they're doing a lot of things right and touching a lot of lives because, you know, people know them, they're popular.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get into the craft beer world, you're going to have a little bit more flavor, a little bit more crispness, a little bit more floral and bitter and all the things. So not nearly as bad as a lot of the ales. Once we get into the ales, you know, you get way crazier notes, but that's just a different kind of hops.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking about earlier, when I come here, the girls behind the bar, they know that I'm going to get a garage beer first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, you go to a bar, and if you frequent that bar for several weeks, you start to develop a knowledge base of what everybody around you is drinking.
Sure.
And I know that there's a local guy here, that if he's going to have a beer, it's almost always a Fall City.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
he's a classic kind of guy.
He is, yeah.
So, all right, our first non-alcoholic beer. This is the Kingston Golden Pills. Ta-da! This is from Biro. What I like about Biro is that they're a relatively new company, and they are climbing the chart rapidly as far as popularity goes.
Yeah,
they're everywhere now. And I'm pretty sure, I like to take wild guesses, so feel free to correct me there, but I'm pretty sure they came out like 2025 or the end of 2024, so they're really, really new. The reason they're so popular, I think, I mean, other than the fact that they're just a good beer, and eventually the beer speaks for itself, but what opened a lot of doors for them is this is Spider-Man's beer.
Yeah, Tom Holland, right?
Tom Holland, and that's what I think. I mean, I believe that bartending is an art form, and it's more art than it is science. And I think like any other artist or any other art form, acting, painting, whatever, right? It's about you make the art that you enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Holland, I don't know his history. I would assume that for whatever reason he decided he's not going to drink beer anymore. Mm-hmm. But he liked beer, and so he was like, you know what, if I'm going to drink, you know, if I'm going to do this, let's do the best non-alcoholic beer that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Right? So, not everybody's going to love it, but Tom Holland does. And if Spider-Man's good enough for Spider-Man, it's good enough for me, man. So let's try it. I mean, it's definitely, as far as a Pilsner goes, it's way more carbonation and foam than the Fall City. But they are kind of getting a little warm now.
That is definitely different from the Fall City. Very good flavor, I think.
Yeah, it is. That is interesting. I don't know enough about this brewery to tell you why it tastes like this. But it is, dare I say, a little bit more American Pilsner than traditional. Like, I don't feel like it has a lot of that. It's not as crisp.
Mm-hmm.
But it is good. I don't know. I don't think it's enough to take me away from the full thing. So much foam.
It is. We almost have to rinse out after that.
Yeah. Alright. This next brewery, I know next to nothing about. This is Go Brewing. Oh, they're from Naperville, Illinois. Just a state above us, so... Alright. Go Brewing. What I love about Go Brewing is the can art.
Yeah.
The can art. Every single one of these beers looks beautiful. The art is incredible. You talk about art. This is art. And they're all unique. They're all super cool. I'm a big fan of branding, just in general. I love the way it cracks. And so I like that they take big swings. There's another Louisville brewery called Against the Grain.
Mm-hmm.
And they use a local artist in Louisville that does all their can art. And some of it's kind of silly, but it's all very cool, and it's all very distinguishable. You know exactly what the brewery is just by seeing that style of art. So I love the fact that they have such a cool take on their can art.
So got quite a bit of foam in this one too, but I think some of that is leftover foam from
That's
from
right.
Bureau.
It's Tom Holland's foam. The nose is... It smells alright. It smells like a beer.
I think, excuse me, I think if there was one that I was going to guess didn't have alcohol in it, I think this is the one I would guess.
Yeah. Sunbeam Pilsner, it's a German malt and hops, so it's going to be a little more bitter than the Czech original traditional. I would say it's very crisp because it lingers like not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just gone. You take a drink and then you're like, oh, where'd it go?
Yeah, it's like drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
It's slight flavor, but
yeah,
nothing crazy.
Reminds me a little bit of the Bud Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad non-alcoholic light beer, but if I'm looking for a Pilsner, I don't think this would get me there.
Yeah.
But would I drink it? Sure, I'd drink it. If for whatever reason, maybe as a DD or something. Alright, this last one is this is out of the Deschutes Brewery. They are... I feel like I need to know where they are at, but I don't. I'll report back to you on where they are later because we have more Deschutes coming up. But this is their Patagonia Golden. So I think they do it for the Patagonia brand of, hiking and outdoorsy stuff. And so non-alcoholic organic golden, not quite a Pilsner, but it fit this category more than anywhere, and I wanted to try a little bit more, throw a wider net over the brands and what they offer. So Deschutes. We did not opt for a lot of the classical or traditional brewing houses. I know Heineken makes a zero, and I know, I think Ultra may even have one. But there's a lot of like major brewing companies that have a non-alcoholic version. They're designed to taste exactly like their alcoholic version.
Yeah.
It's like Diet Dr. Pepper tastes, right? More like regular Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. So, you've tried a lot of those things. And chances are, if you're a non-alcoholic beer drinker, you're probably already familiar with those breweries and those brands and that kind of stuff. The objective here is people that do dry January. I don't know. It tends to be... I don't know. I probably shouldn't even say it because it's a broad generalization that's probably not even accurate. But I just feel like people that do dry January are more farm-to-table-y conscious.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I've never done dry January. I just haven't. But this isn't for us. This is for you guys out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. More earth conscious maybe is a better way of saying it. So they're probably more prone to craft beers anyway. I think is more of the approach that we took here.
I said the last one is the one I would guess didn't have beer in it. I might have been wrong.
This one is described as bright and crisp, brewed with Kernza. Kernza, I think that's a type of hop. Refreshing non-alcoholic brew beverage you can feel good about drinking anywhere, anytime. Regenerative, organic, certified rye, organic hops, barley, and Kernza, a soil-saving, carbon-capturing perennial grain. Never heard of Kernza before this beer. I would imagine that's the difference in flavor that we're finding here. Yeah, no. Tastes like gym socks. So, not a fan. This time I saved a little bit of the real beer.
Yeah, I think we'll have to finish off the round with that.
General consensus on this one, I think.
The real thing's the best.
If you like pilsners, accept no substitutes. So, Fall City, win in Kentucky.
Now, if you want a cool can to put on your shelf at the end of the night.
Hands down, like I would put that on my wall. Not the can, like a print, probably.
Yeah.
Put the beer on my wall. But
it was just super impressive how black the top of that can is.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the silver and the gold, but that is it's solid black.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And we've got a couple more. We'll show you some more can art from Go Brewing. So, but yeah.
All right. So from there, we're going to dive into smartwatches. Because no wearable tech would be complete without them.
Okay. Have one right now?
Yep, you've got one. I've got one. I've had this one. This is the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier, and I've had it since Christmas of 2018, I think. I had a cheaper knockoff smartwatch before this. It lasted probably a year, and I wanted it to last longer. But thankfully, I was gifted this, and it's been rocking strong ever since. Still has fantastic battery and everything, which we'll dive into some of those details and stuff later. But
my original smartwatch was, I think, a Garmin. That one's pretty good. Before that, I had one of those little square ones, and it had all the buttons, and it was a calculator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I was in probably elementary school.
Yeah.
So
let's just fly through the history real quick of smartwatches, because I think that's important to lead into some of what you're talking about there. But 1972, Pulsar made the first digital watch.
Okay. So
it's the first watch that didn't have an analog face.
Yeah.
1983, Seiko released the T001, which had a TV image. It has a small little digital screen that you could put like a TV image underneath the time readout.
Okay. So is that like you could put your own custom backdrop, or?
No, I don't think so. I'm not exactly sure what functionality it had, other than the fact it had imagery on it. But I don't think it was even like there was no color digital to that. I think it was all black and white.
8-bit probably.
The Seiko Data 2000 had a detachable keyboard and a calculator. So you had the watch, but then you had a separate keyboard that went along with it.
That's ridiculous.
Where'd that go?
Yeah.
1983, again, the Casio DataBank CD40. It was the first kind of watch with data storage in it.
Okay.
1994, we jump ahead, we get Timex DataLink, which could wirelessly download data from your computer. There were a couple watch brands between those two, the 1983 and 1994, that you could plug your watch into your computer through a serial connection, and you could download data or do different things that way. But this was the first one that could do it wirelessly.
When? 1990?
94.
Where'd you stick the floppy disk in your watch?
1995, you had the Message Watch by Seiko that could receive text messages.
Okay.
So this is kind of the start to texting through your watch.
Okay.
1998, Steve Mann, who's known as the father of wearable computing, created the first Linux watch. So everybody's heard of the Linux operating system. They took that and stuck it in a watch.
Okay.
1999, the SPHWP-10. It was the first watch to take calls, and it was done by Samsung. I've got a picture of that guy. Check that guy out.
What
That
the?
big old microphone and speaker over there.
That looks like the tape recorder that Kevin used in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like.
It almost looks like a James Bond tool that was supposed to be every tool except for the watch.
Yeah.
Or did you ever watch Spy
I
Kids?
think that little nose on the top is a laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Spy Kids.
So I remember, I think it was either Spy Kids 1 or 2. But the big thing was one of the tech gadgets that they got was a watch that could do everything except for tell the time.
Yeah.
So moving forward then, 2000, the IBM WatchPad, it was known as the forerunner of the smartwatches.
Okay.
2003, the brand Fossil released the Wrist PDA, which had a keyboard, a touchscreen, infrared port, all those things. So we talked about PDA last week, and this is where they took that PDA, stuck it on your wrist.
All I know about PDA is it was not allowed in youth group.
2004, Microsoft launches the Spot smartwatch. 2006, Sony MBW100, which had Bluetooth and text and call notifications. 2011, the Motorola Motor Active. Okay, we're talking about, January, everybody's getting health conscious and those kinds of things. It was more for fitness. It included GPS, MP3, which also had a DJ mode.
Okay.
Then connecting to fitness sensors. So that would be,
Heart rate.
Yeah, not the watch though, but other sensors, third-party sensors. It allowed you to have compatibility with those.
What about like your pacemaker?
Probably not at that time, but the pedometer was also on that watch. But keep in mind the pacemaker, because stuff like that's coming, right? So that's 2011. 2012, the Sony smartwatch was created as a companion for the Sony Xperia smartphones.
Okay.
2013, Samsung Galaxy Gear launched. So this is a Gear OS watch, and it originated based on the 2013 model.
Yeah.
2014, speaking of, the Android Wear, which became known as the Wear OS, was introduced in the Samsung Gear S model, which had 3G cellular. So now you didn't have to use Bluetooth to communicate to your phone for text and call notifications. The watch itself could make the call.
Okay.
2015, Apple Watch starts shipping worldwide, and the Samsung Galaxy S2 with the AMOLED display and rotating bezel happened. So,
rotating what?
Bezel. So my bezel rotates.
Oh, I don't have that. I didn't even know what a bezel was.
Yeah, so the bezel is around the watch on the top side.
Yeah.
And mine rotates, and that actually helps me, not helps me, but that's actually one of the ways that I can go from screen to screen on different applications.
Mine just swipes.
Yes. And so I have some swipe functionality. It does the same thing as the bezel, but I really like that physical touch.
Yeah.
It is a nice little feature to have on an older watch.
Sure.
So AMOLED, I mentioned that in the Gear S2. That's an active matrix organic light emitting diode. So everybody knows LEDs. We've seen those all over the place. AMOLED was taking a small little layer of organic material that you put into the inside of the watch, and it creates pixels, basically. And it allows for individual control of every pixel from completely black to completely white. Because of that, you get way more contrast and vivid pictures through your AMOLED watches, as opposed to, like, Garmin has something that's called MIP, which is memory in pixels, I think is what it is.
Sure.
And it doesn't have quite the contrast, but because it doesn't require as much energy to use the MIP, it definitely has way more battery life. Okay, so then 2016, the Tag Heuer is a luxury watch using Android Wear OS. And in 2017, the Apple Watch Series 3 had LTE cellular, and the Misfit Vapor, which had Android Wear, virtual touch bezel. So now, instead of having the physical bezel, they have the virtual bezel.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's kind of up to 2017. And I'm going to stop there as far as the history of wearable tech, because after 2017, it kind of became kind of a free-for-all where everybody was creating everything as fast as they could. And it like the watch industry just totally changed. So before you wanted a watch that told time, then you wanted a watch that you could use a calculator, then you wanted a watch that could actually send and receive text messages and phone calls that was connected to your phone.
Sure.
Then you put a SIM card in it, and now you can do it all through cellular. And then you did anything and everything except for like do your taxes. But
That's coming.
yeah, give it enough time, they'll be doing our taxes for us. So in a little while, we're going to talk about other wearable tech, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the features in the newer smartwatches.
Okay.
And we're going to see just how transformative life has become with these new features, and kind of see where the path of the future is headed.
Is this a scary thing you mentioned earlier?
No, actually, that's not the scary thing.
Seems scary. Alright. So we do that in a minute. I'm out of beer.
And I will be right after this.
Okay. Then we will return right after this.
So we're back again?
Yes, we are. We are back. And this time we are bringing with us the craft beer flagship, I think, if you will. Even if you've never had one, you know the term IPA.
Mm-hmm.
Right? IPAs means India Pale Ale. It was a style of beer that was created in England in order to be exported to India. It's very characterized, kind of polarizing too. I mean, you love it or you hate it. I'm not a big fan. I'm gonna lead with that.
Yeah.
It has a lot of flavor, and there's nothing wrong with flavor. But usually when I think of IPA, you think of very bitter, earthy, oftentimes a lot of grapefruit.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And fun fact, and then like IPA is a banner where it has many categories under it. There's the traditional IPA, there's the modern IPA, there's a hazy IPA now, there's a double IPA, a triple IPA, a session IPA, black IPA. There's a grapefruit flavor in IPA was so popular they got its own spin-off called the Grapefruit IPA. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and the people that love the hops and all the stuff that goes with it, and the way they talk about the hops in IPA, the different names of flavor, mosaics and citras and Chinooks and all that stuff, almost reminds me of, like, if you ever watched that old movie Half Baked,
I have not.
with Dave Chappelle, or like a Seth Rogen movie, any one of them. It's like different strains of marijuana. You know what I mean? It's like, that's just the kind of, it's probably not that far off. But we are, you know what I didn't do? I didn't look up where Deschutes was from. But IPAs, Indian Pale Ale, this is the other end of the spectrum. Not lager. We're moving into ale territory. And in a future video, we can get into the different, descriptors and, what the difference is in as far as brewings and things like that. But this wasn't so much about brewing and the history of beer as it is. You can smell it already. As it is just taste testing non-alcoholic beers and giving you our best or worst opinion of what we're about to drink. So, cheers, sir. Yeah, it's one thing that becomes very apparent with an IPA. It is strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the smell for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the flavor. Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't tend to drink IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
Really, ever. I like a good lager.
Mm-hmm.
Good garage beer. Good country boy brewing or something like that.
Yeah.
But this is pretty good flavor. It is way more flavorful, though.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very strong. It's, do you drink gin?
No.
Because this has that kind of piney tree kind of ness.
Okay.
Gin is derived from juniper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, like, pine tree-ish. This is very pine tree-ish. We actually carried this summer on the lake when we did our, we were in the Marina restaurant around the corner from here. This was we carried this one specifically because we had somebody reach out and say this is my favorite IPA to drink on the water.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I don't have another IPA, might as well. I know it's not a Kentucky beer, so sorry, Kentucky, but it is. I think it might be like Missouri.
Okay.
It's not far away.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where that's from. I'm making myself drink it. Ugh. I may not be returning the original one soon. So, the first one we're going to try is also from Deschutes. This is their non-alcoholic fresh squeezed IPA. So, less than 5% alcohol in this one. This one, ABV 6.4.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's like IPAs in general, just are a little higher. So 6.4. If you go for a double IPA, you're probably more in the 8 or 9 inch the 8 or 9 ABV range. So this one is designed, Diet Dr. Pepper, to taste a lot like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the same brand, same can, same everything basically. I would imagine it's gonna taste almost exactly the same.
I mean, I hope so for them. It smells a little off. Tastes a little off.
Yeah, it does not taste the exact same.
No, it does not. It does not. It tastes. I don't know how to say it without sounding derogatory.
Way lighter. I mean, obviously that you can taste there's not near as much.
A little lighter, a little dirtier.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not. I'll pour that one out. Alright, we're back to Go Brewing. This one is crazy, and it looks like it's playing up the India roots, kind of like some Hindu god right there on the can, lots of skulls. Some kind of explorer with a torch going into the mouth of this Hindu god, like the Cave of Wonders. This is a hazy. So the hazy, I'll be honest, I don't know a ton of crazy things about IPAs and what makes them all different because I just don't like it. I never really studied it. Kind of scares me off. But it says it's with crushed, Sabro, and Strata marijuana strains. I mean hops. So,
well, somebody was smoking marijuana when they made that art.
Probably. It's really cool art. It looks like straight out of a comic book.
Yeah, it probably wasn't marijuana. It was like LSD and seeing colors and then.
Ooh, that's actually a little better. So, actually, one thing I do know about, I would say this is probably more of your traditional West Coast IPA.
Mm-hmm.
The hazy is more of like the modern. I think hazy is more of an offshoot off of the modern IPA, where it's a little bit more citrus forward, and you get that a lot in this one. This one actually is not as bad. There's still enough of the pine essence, especially on the nose. On the palate, you get more fruit.
To me, this one has a very peculiar taste. Which I can tell I'm drinking non-alcoholic beers because I can still say the word peculiar.
Yeah. Yeah. That one's pretty good. This is the also Go Brewing Sunshine State Tropical IPA with mango and peach.
Okay.
I have had this one. While it is still an IPA, and noticeably an IPA, it's a little bit more just like juice. And even look at how hazy that is. It looks almost like an orange juice.
Mm-hmm. Or like an orange pineapple juice.
Yeah. Color-wise, it's more orange pineapple. Very cloudy.
It doesn't have quite the flavor punch that I was expecting.
Yeah.
The mango and peach.
It also doesn't have that bite on the finish like you would expect from an IPA.
Well, you can tell it wasn't done by Juicy Juice.
Yeah. It's okay. Alright, and now we're back to Spider-Man's IPA. It's called the Double Tasty from Go Brewing, West Coast style IPA. Contains less than 0.5% alcohol. So let's try this one.
I'll be honest. Every time that we do one with the Bureau, I am rooting for Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they have another IPA too. There's 4 different brands in the Bureau line. We are not in any way affiliated or sponsored by Bureau, but if you're curious about it, they in addition to the Pilsner, they have this IPA. They have another IPA, and then they have a wheat beer.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think of the 4, the wheat was my favorite. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
The Pilsner just had something lacking, but that's like a diet IPA. I mean,
Diet IPA.
Mm-hmm. Like in every way, like maybe you just had a water and you had one of those like IPA concentrates. You know how you have those,
like a shot.
Yeah, like those flavor
IPA
shots. That's got a little, yeah.
It's like Mio, but IPA.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's an IPA Mio. Ugh.
All right, so looking back at all those, I'll be honest.
I want some more falsity.
Yeah, I mean, I would not go for an IPA in this selection. So if you're at home watching and you're wondering what IPA you're going to get, maybe don't.
maybe don't. Or how about this? If you have a favorite IPA, non-alcoholic, or even alcoholic, tell us what you like in an IPA. Let us know. Let us know what your favorite non-alcoholic IPA is, and maybe we'll try that on another drink. There's a lot of them, and that's the cool thing. Is that I mean I was just in Kroger the other day, and just walking down 4 or 5 different styles of non-alcoholic beer that I didn't realize they had non-alcoholic beer for. So I think things are ramping up for Dry January, and the market is really shifting. And I feel like a lot of younger people, like Tom Holland, are kind of gravitating away from just alcohol in general.
Yeah.
The body kind of looks at alcohol as kind of like a parasite, and it stops, burning fat and burning calories to kind of fight the alcohol first.
Yeah.
And so I think that's I don't know. I'm not young and hip like that, so I'm still drinking alcohol and beer. But yeah, I think there's definitely an upswing in demand for non-alcoholic beers right now.
Yeah.
And CBD drinks and things like that too. But we're tipsy. We're not doing those drinks at this time. So, all right. Where are we at now, Laura? When are we going to get to talk about my favorite wearable tech, Tony Stark's Iron Man suit?
That's not as far away as you might think.
Complete with Jarvis.
So, yeah. It won't be Jarvis. It'll be Gemini or ChatGPT or Alexa or Bixby or insert whatever voice assistant you want.
Not Siri.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think Siri's probably going away. But it's interesting.
But Alexa has a new voice now. Every time I ask her to play any song, she's like, "I have a new voice. Would you like to hear it?" I'm like, "No, stop asking me." I thought you were smart.
Well, sometimes they're just assistants. Wearable technology is so interesting to me. Of course, you've got the earphones and the earbuds and the progression for audio. Then you have smartwatches, which started as a watch that could do a little bit more than tell time. Then Fitbit joined the game, and they said, let's make an actual fitness tracker. Couldn't tell the time with a Fitbit. It was counting your steps. It had a pedometer. That was it. Fitbit got in, then Garmin got in, then Samsung, and all these brands, when they started making their watches, they realized something extremely important. Fitness and health tracking is the best way to approach wearable technology. It is the best way to kind of push yourself into the public domain of, hey, we can do this thing for you that now you don't have to worry about a particular health concern. Or you have a health concern, we're going to monitor it for you. And in the future, it's not even much of the future. In the present to the short-term future, it's we are going to know you have a health concern before you do. And then we're going to tell you how to mitigate it and how to take care of it. So wearable tech, it's super interesting. All the different things that the functionalities and the features that they've started putting into technology. And I've got some technology here. We'll talk through them in a little bit. But all of the VR, AR stuff, augmented reality, virtual reality, that kind of started in 1967. You wouldn't even think about that in the 1960s. But 1967, they had something called the Sword of Damocles, which I don't have a clue about the Greek history on that. But the concept of it, or the reality of it, was, let's take this headset and stick it on your head. And it was pretty lightweight for 1960s technology, but the reason for that is because it had a bunch of cables and stuff that came up from it and went into this machine that hung above you.
So it was Cerebro from X-Men.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, you don't have to be in a wheelchair for it, but yes.
Okay.
So what's interesting about that one is, obviously, it's kind of the beginning of all of the AR, VR, but it essentially took a wireframe shape and stuck it as an overlay in the image in front of you. So you could still turn and look and see all these things, but then you could see a wireframe box. So, it wasn't really the whole box so much as it was the outline of the box.
Okay.
So they took that idea and they expanded on it, and then fast forward, 50, 60 years, and now we have Meta Ray-Bans. And so in a minute, we're going to talk about Meta Ray-Bans and the things that they have, but it's just such a fluctuation between where they were trying to go in that time to where they went to where we are now. And it's a fascinating progression of technology that's just super, super cool. But all of that to say that the hit market is fitness and athleticism and outdoor activities and monitoring and health monitoring and things of that nature. That's where the game really is and where it's going. The 2025 CES, which is Consumer Electronics Show, had several pieces of technology, wearable tech, that was just absolutely crazy. And, a lot of them started out as smartwatches and the progression of smartwatches. But let me get into a couple other things. So the first one was the Garmin Instinct 3.
Okay.
So this is a watch. It had an AMOLED display, rugged LED flashlight. So it actually had a flashlight built into it. You hit the button on the top and you get a light now.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is a pretty neat feature.
Oh, that's cool.
Has GPS. Yeah, and what's really cool, it had a solar version. So the solar version wasn't AMOLED, it was MIP, which we talked about earlier. But the solar version basically has unlimited battery. It just absorbs the light around it to charge the battery, and you can just keep on going.
That's cool.
But other features that it has is heart rate, advanced sleep monitoring, Pulse OX2, stress monitoring, breathing activity, hydration logs, nap detection, women's health tracking, you name it. They're starting to put it into a device that you can wear.
Okay.
So, I mean, going from the Garmin and going from the smartwatch to now the Ring.
Okay.
The Circular Ring 2 had ECG, echocardiogram functionality, 8-day battery, and digital sizing by AI. So now you could take a picture of your hand next to a credit card, and it will size your finger and know what size ring you need.
Wow.
And that to me is like crazy, because I guess back in the day for smart rings, the way that they started is they would send you this plastic kit, and you would just put on a ring, and then you put on the next ring, you find out which size would fit the best, then you send that size in. But now they're like, okay, just snap a picture and we'll get you the right size. Crazy to me, the kind of things that they're doing.
I think at some point they will have a ring that will it'll one size fits all, and you stick it on, and there'll be something on the inside that conforms your finger.
Oh yeah.
You know, something I don't know, like
the
like one of those blood pressure tests at the pharmacy.
mm-hmm.
You stick your arm in, it like kind of squeezes your thing. It'll just be, it'll just squeeze on the inside, just hold it in place.
Nanotechnology, like Tony Stark's Iron Man suit.
That's it.
Lasers. Another one that they introduced was the holiday glasses. We're going to talk about the Meta Ray-Bans in a minute, but the holiday glasses had AI insights, AI translation, notifications, audio memos, reminders, music, phone calls, and then they had a holiday ring.
Vision.
Just about everything but then they had a ring that you could wear that you could use as a trackpad for your glasses. Oh. So you're wearing the glasses and you know, hey, whoever your AI assistant is, we'll just call it Holiday. Hey, Holiday, can you go ahead and show me my calendar for the next 2 weeks? So it shows you day 1, and then you use your little ring as a trackpad to move your finger down, and that'll show you day 2, and day 3, and day 4. And then you could just do several different functionalities like that.
Yeah. Prescription.
Well, I think Holiday was the one that you can actually put whatever prescription lens in it you need to.
Nice.
So if you have bad eyesight, you can get prescription-based glasses.
That's amazing.
Then they had one called Double Point, which is very similar to a smartwatch, except for it's not a watch at all.
Okay.
And actually, the functionality is totally different, but you wear it like a watch. It measures your hand gestures. Okay. So if you turn your hand over, or you turn your hand back, or you pinch your fingers, or you move your fingers like this, it measures all of that and does something with it. So the concept behind it originally was for controlling Apple devices.
Okay.
So you could take and pinch your fingers to select something on your MacBook or on your iPhone. Okay, then they said, Apple is cool and all, but let's get crazier. So they started doing Bosch controls for smart home controls. So you can wear this thing with a Bosch connectivity, and you can turn your smart lights down to dim them by just rotating your hand, basically.
Interesting.
And then, you could increase the temperature in your house and other smart home controls just with the gesture or the hand controls that you do. What's neat is they had a demo in the video I was watching, and it's got a little indicator on the screen for when it can tell that you're doing a gesture, and it was almost perfectly matching up to the squeezing the fingers is what they were doing. So that's Double Point. I think that was a pretty neat one. Then they had the hearing aids, like the Phonak Audio Lumity, which has AI in it. It can distinguish speech from noise in real time to give personalized listening.
Wow.
So, a hearing aid, you've got somebody who is not able to hear very well, maybe in one ear or both. And the AI in the hearing aid will actually determine what kind of speech or what kind of noise they actually need to turn up or turn down. So you might go into a crowded bar, let's say, and it's really loud in there and you can't hear your bartender. The hearing aid can automatically turn up the bartender so that they can hear the bartender over the noise of everyone else talking in the background.
That's crazy. That's like Superman kind of stuff where he's like flies up into space and he can hear Lois. That's crazy. What they need is to combine that with the AI, with the translations. And so if somebody's speaking German to you, it automatically translates in your ears English. But then you can't answer them. So unless they have the same piece.
Well, just wait.
Uh-oh.
So after hearing aids, they talked about AI clothing. Their main thing for AI clothing is shirts and pants and socks.
Dry clean only.
Yeah. Don't throw these things in your washing machine. But the idea behind these is, again, with your fitness and exercise routines, especially for high intensity training athletes or people who are trying to perfect a particular form for something, like runners. They're trying to determine, how their form is for running and that kind of thing. This clothing, they use e-textiles with their sensors to determine, what that form looks like. and then create reports on it and generate information to help you counteract maybe bad form.
That's too much.
Yeah.
That's what coaches are for.
Well, here's where and this is, jumping ahead to future, but the AI clothing that I want, and this is like probably we're a year or two away from this becoming a true functionality, because they're already doing testing for this, is it will measure your body temperature and make adjustments to the temperature of the clothes based on your body temperature.
Interesting.
I'm super intrigued by that because I get really hot really fast.
Yeah.
And if my shirt was like, hey, dude, you're now starting to warm up and you're starting to sweat a little bit, and it could cool me down automatically, I'm all about that.
Interesting. Okay.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next couple of years with that, but that's, I'm intrigued. We'll see. Sleeping bands. They can monitor your sleep stages, brain activity. Future models are expected to interact with your smart homes again. So, you're wearing this band. You are asleep, you start tossing and turning, it determines, you're not as restful as you should be, so it turns your temperature down in your house. Or it notices that you just woke up and you're stirring a little bit, and that's probably 6 o'clock, so now it slowly turns your lights on.
Or turns your heat on.
It turns your heat on, because it's about time for you to start your
the
day.
coffee pot on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's coming, yes.
Hey. That's amazing.
And then skin patches. There is a couple companies, MC10 and BioIntelliSense, that are making these stickable skin patches that you stick on your arm.
Okay.
And they measure sensors. They've been doing that for a while, but these are going to be a little bit more in tune with your body and those kinds of things that last a little longer. They don't. It's not quite like a nicotine patch where it has a couple hours of good use or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's going to track hydration, vital signs, stress levels, and expected to predict sickness or dehydration. So now you got a patch on your skin that says, "Hey, you're getting a little dehydrated. Time for you to get a water."
Does it send you text messages or notifications?
I'm not sure exactly how these these companies have made how they work, but I would imagine it would start to send you like push notifications through your phone.
Eventually, I think they combine that with the ring. I mean, it's on your skin, so you could probably, or even a watch. The watch could put the patch on the back of the watch, and then you could be like, and then your glasses show you, like, hey, you need to drink water. You've had too many non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, that's what it would be telling.
Yeah, that's what it is. So,
okay,
I
so
don't know why I'm still trying to drink this IPA.
I think let's go ahead and maybe take a quick break.
Okay.
And then come back and we'll talk about some of the really cool technology and the scary technology that is coming into fruition.
Okay. It's called Skynet.
Oh, and yeah, it's
called Skynet.
Skynet's predecessor.
Alright. The alien disclosure that's happening. Alright. We will return with alien technology, Skynet, and the next future thing. And some more beer. Well, I guess we're back for more. And as we wrap up, we've got a couple different things here. We're doing this one a little bit different. So you may notice here, we've got actually 2 regular beers and 2 non-alcs. And both our non-alcs here are from Go Brewing. Check out that can art. It's so cool. And I use the term regular beer loosely on this one. You'll see why. But this is the Gravely Mexican lager called La Bamba. La Bamba. I do not have any limes, but this is one we carry in our bar. Gravely's out of Louisville. It is just a great beer. If you like Corona with lime, if you like, Modelo, any kind of Mexican lager, it's just a really good beer to have, and usually with the lime is great. But we're doing this one. What is this one? This is 5.2%. So La Bamba makes you sing, makes you dance.
That's good.
It's so good. It makes you want tacos. All right.
I think I wanted tacos before we started, anyways. But
There you go. Now you know why. So, and a quick note: we did find out. Joseph actually did the research. Deschutes Brewery is not out of Missouri. It's out of Bend, Oregon.
yeah, 1 or 2 states over.
My apologies to the good folks at the Deschutes Brewery for getting your state wrong.
Mm.
All right. So that's a great beer. We won't drink all of it right now because we may need a palate cleanser. This Go Brewing beer is called the Salty AF Gelada with sea salt and real lime. So the lime's already baked into this one. Non-alcoholic.
Very Day of the Dead type art on the can.
Very Day of the Dead. Very Coco. Disney's Coco. So, Coco AF. Doesn't really have much of a nose.
Wow. That has some lime in it.
Salty and limey. I don't hate that one. That's actually pretty good. It's a lot of lime, but...
I would tone the lime down.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Ooh. Oh, and then it's salty enough just to make you want more. Makes you thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Not bad. You know what I might do? Let's do this. So, we're going to put a little bomba, and then we're going to add a little lime. Let's see. That's a good beer.
I feel like that would be a little bit better. You tone that lime down some and put it with a beer that takes a lime.
Alright. Putting the Mexicans and the tacos away. And this next one is the tart and tempered peach sour ale. And it's a sour. This comes out of Goodwood in Louisville as well. 5.5% alcohol per volume. It's a peach kettle sour. So sour beers are something that most serious beer drinkers don't give any credence to sour beers because they're like, that's what the hell is that? It's exactly what it sounds like. Probably has more in common with a Jolly Rancher than a Budweiser, but as far as sours, some sours can go really, really tart. This one's not bad. This one's super palatable. It's really good as far as sour beers go.
So I'm going to go ahead and just make a prediction. I'm not going to care for this very much. Because I don't care for sour and tart.
Okay.
But, let's see.
I'll pucker up.
Yeah. That's something.
We may not like this one either. This is the Go Brewing New School Sour with blueberry and strawberry. So, less than 0.5% ABV. I've not tried this one. But I imagine if you like sour beers, you may like it. If you're Joseph, you probably don't. And that's okay. There's no shame.
Color change on the bubbles.
Smells good. Alright. I mean, yeah. I think this one works because sour beer doesn't taste much like beer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's good. If you just want something to tart your tongue and you're out of, like, Sour Patch Kids, grab one of these.
I think I'd go for the Go Brewing over this one. The tempered.
Yeah. It's not bad. A little sugar on the rim, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so out of those 4, which one are you drinking as a just everyday drinker?
Bomba.
Yeah. There tends to be a theme with the night.
I think the general consensus is if you're doing dry January, just stay away from beer altogether. Just don't even do the non-alcoholic stuff. It's not really worth it.
Or have 1 or 2. Have the Athletic The Athletic was good.
Athletic's
It's
pretty
only 25 calories, so
Yeah.
it's good enough to get you by until February.
good. And Athletic has a lot of different. We said Bureau has like 4.
Mm-hmm.
Go Brewing has, I don't know, probably have 6 different flavors of them.
Okay.
But Athletic, they've got a wheat, they've got a. I was gonna do their Oktoberfest, but I'm like, we're a little far from October for that to be relevant.
Yeah.
But they have an Oktoberfest, they had a Christmas beer, they have, of course, we did the light, they have a wheat, they have porters and IPAs and Mexican style. So, anything that any style of beer that you like, Athletic has it. It's worth a shot. So, if you just really can't give up the flavor of beer, give that a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, most of these non-alcoholic drinks that we've had tonight just made me crave the real thing even more.
Yeah.
So probably just not. I'm okay with just a Coke most of the time. So
yeah.
The problem I had was, I've had some Lents where I gave up sodas, and I found myself just drinking more beer. And I'm like, that's kind of
probably the purpose.
Yeah. Unless my purpose is just not drinking sodas, and then it worked. But as far as health goes, they're probably just as bad. So, I don't know.
I think, I think what we've determined is sometimes the best thing you can do is just leave something long enough alone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a good beer, like a good lager or a good pilsner, maybe you don't have to screw with it.
That's right. Go big or go home. Keep it the real thing or don't do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the moral of the story tonight.
I
think in the future, I will not be drinking more in non-alcoholic beers. In your future of tech, what are you going to do?
Well, the present of tech and the future of tech are so intertwined currently. And it's, like I was saying earlier, it's exciting, it's intriguing to see where we're headed, where we're at, where we're headed.
I'm just excited because you said I can get an Iron Man suit of armor in the near future.
Yeah, I don't know if the common person can just go buy some of this equipment, but it is coming to fruition that technology like that is just gonna be here to stay. Short of an EMP hitting us, technology is absolutely just blossoming and blooming and turning into this crazy thing that we call life. Some of the AI makes it feel like the tech is living. Dr. Frankenstein, some smartwatches and Oura rings and that kind of thing, and now we have just absolutely bonkers technology that's hitting us in the face, and it's here to stay. Again, a lot of the emphasis is going to be on fitness and health. That's just going to be the major emphasis of technology going forward. But we'll start with the Meta Ray-Bans. I promised a little bit of info on them. They come with data overlays. Okay. You were talking about earlier.
So is that like, when you say Meta Ray-Ban, is that like Ray-Ban sunglasses?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ray-Ban sunglasses paired with Meta to create the Meta Ray-Bans.
Okay.
They have a couple different models, different colors, different.
Do you have any here?
I don't. But by the way, Meta, Samsung, even Apple, sparingly. If you guys want to send us tech to review, we will.
We will do it.
So feel free to ship us stuff. You can reach out to us via our comments down below and get our mailing address. But Meta Ray-Bans, they have graphic overlays. I was talking about the AR and VR headsets, this sort of Damocles earlier. Imagine that, but you got just a pair of sunglasses or a pair of glasses. Super lightweight now. Before, the big hindrance to headsets and headwear and eyewear was that they're so heavy. You're trying to put all the computational power in there, and it just makes them heavy. And these guys are super lightweight, so you can wear them just like regular glasses, have them on most of your day. They have a decent battery life, but now you can overlay things in real time to what you're seeing. So an example, you're walking through let's say an area of town or an area of a city that you are not familiar with, and it is mostly foreign. So let's say you're traveled overseas to some country you've never been to, and you're looking at all of these posters on the walls of all these buildings, and your glasses can now translate the languages on the posters in real time.
Nice.
So you're looking at it, and in the corner of your eye, you can see the translation and what language it's translating from.
So real subtitles.
Real subtitles, yes, exactly.
Okay.
So you got the data overlays, you have augmented graphics, translations.
Pokemon running around.
Yeah, and so imagine Pokemon Go,
Mm-hmm.
where and now instead of you holding your phone and looking like an idiot, you just got your glasses on.
Yes.
Uh,
I would love to have Beat Saber.
okay,
Right? Have you played Beat Saber?
I have not.
It's like it's on like PlayStation VR and Oculus and stuff like that. And it's like Guitar Hero with lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best game ever. So but if you had just glasses and maybe like a ring on each hand,
mm-hmm.
that would be it. You could just swing your hands and Beat Saber. That'd be amazing.
So I was thinking.
You'd be standing in the middle of a shopping mall and people would think I'm crazy now.
Oh yeah, but people might think that anyways.
Yeah, same.
But if you had the Meta Ray Bans, and we were talking about earlier the gesture control, so you had the little watch that can measure your fingers. If you had that, you can now talk through your glasses by just tapping your fingers. It'd be kind of like doing SOS or like Morse code and stuff like that. But
it'd be harder to kidnap people.
Yeah, well, think about that actually. If your glasses could immediately send a message to 911 or a call to 911, the moment, most of the time people will knock away your phone or whatever, they're trying to kidnap you and they don't want you to have any tracking devices, but now your glasses can send a message to 911 telling them where you're at.
Yeah. And
you can then track through it. So that opens a can of worms on privacy and stuff like that. We're talking about in a second, but what's also cool about the Meta Ray Bans is they have the ability to live stream with a 12 megapixel camera that can take pictures, or it can do 1080p videos.
Okay.
Where it can do a 60-second video, and because it's paired with Meta, it can send social media posts directly from your glasses by you touching the side of them.
That's crazy.
So for all of you content creators out there who for some reason can't take the time to upload via your phone, get these Meta Ray Bans and upload immediately.
Yeah.
They also have object and landmark recognition. So you take your glasses, you look over there, you see, let's say, the Pyramid of Giza, and now it can tell you information in real time about the landmarks you're seeing. So it's like a tour guide.
Tell you how they built the pyramids?
Well, maybe what the hypothesis is.
Yeah, I don't think
their theories. And the Meta Ray Bans are cool. They have a 36-hour use with the charging case, which is a pretty stylish charging case, actually.
Are they sunglasses?
I think they have both sunglasses and regular glasses.
Are they smart enough that they transition?
Transitional glasses?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. If somebody in the comments who has a pair of these or is going to get a pair of these, leave your review of what the interaction is like, and if they are, I'm sure we can Google too, but if they're sunglasses, if they're regular glasses, a mixture of both, if they have transitional lenses,
yes,
with shades.
And then whoever comments about it, somebody else try and kidnap that person, and we're going to see if it deters you from kidnapping them. Full review.
Yes. Okay, so then, speaking of glasses, Solos came out with glasses, which was really interesting.
Solo the cup people?
No, Solos with an S at the end.
Oh, okay.
And they have removable lenses. Okay. So you take you got your earpieces, but then you have the lens that detaches, and you can go swap it out for another pair and stick it on.
Okay.
They had a lot of other things like real-time translation and a lot of health metrics as well. Then, moving away from glasses, they had something called the Friend AI Pendant. Just if you were going to guess, what do you think this is?
Friendship bracelet.
Not a bracelet, but a pin that you would wear, maybe on your shirt or whatever. And it is...
Oh, like a pin that you would... Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Or it may be, on a necklace or whatever.
Okay.
But the idea behind it is a AI companion that's with you all the time.
Did you see Ironheart on Disney Plus?
I did.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of.
Yes.
Where she makes her thing. I don't know if it was in a necklace or whatever, but it was. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool. Would it like project holograms
Mhm.
of your dead best friend?
No, I don't think so.
That would be crazy.
But I do have to wonder about the AI codependency or machine codependency that we might be developing with things like that.
Oh yeah. There's movies about that. Simone and all the other ones about. I don't know. I think we mentioned that last week too.
And
People falling in love with their AI.
yeah. So going away from friend AI, but still talking about wearable pens. There's the humane AI.
For your dog.
No. But it has an AI assistant, a laser projection and gesture control, a camera, a speaker, ChatGPT, translations, directions, calls, to-do list, trust light, and its own cellular connection.
Can I put that on my dog? Because that would be really great.
You could. Wouldn't help your dog much.
No, it would help me find him when he runs off.
Yeah, you can find my dog.
Yeah. I could see what he's saying, and I'm like, lady, like you could speak through it, freak people out.
I don't know that you would. I'm not sure. I need to watch some more videos on this and see, what all it can do. But one of the cool things that I saw was it sits with a magnetic base underneath your shirt, and then you just magnetize the pendant to that base.
Okay.
And it has a little camera on it, and it can see things, but then it's got a little projection on it. So you can stick your hand in front of your chest like this, and you can then use your fingers to control the options you're trying to select.
Oh, okay.
And then you can go, okay, translate this. And this little thing takes this camera, shines in some words, translates it, and you stick your hand back up, and you can see how it translates it. I think gesture control is super neat. I mean, it makes me think of Tony Stark interacting with Friday and Jarvis.
It worked so well on the camera last week.
Oh, yeah. Sure. But I think that's going to be one of those things that becomes super helpful, just not even, in a personal landscape, but in a business landscape.
Well, I think it's really a cool feature for people with like physical disabilities.
Yes.
I think that's super cool. So, yeah.
I think, technology is so immersive and so fascinating. And you think about how little things can make big differences to the right people.
Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, there's so much of this technology that you give it to a disabled person, whatever their disability is, and you can find ways to start to beat that disability so that someone doesn't have to be left behind in whatever regard it might be.
Yeah.
Where you have people who couldn't play sports before, but now because of exoskeletons, exo machine skeletons, they are able to start to play those sports. They are able to climb stairs and go on trails to do hiking and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
That's the kind of fascination I have with the tech world, is that sometimes the biggest improvements in life are based on a change from technology that you didn't ask for, but somebody said, let me find this little thing to make a big difference, which is just super cool. Speaking of super cool things, I was talking about the ring earlier that you can use as like a trackpad for your glasses. Two different rings, Muse Ring 1 and the Aura Ring. We'll talk specifically first about the Muse Ring. It can detect your sleep stages. It can do contactless payment. Think of Apple Pay and Samsung Pay, that kind of thing.
Scary.
It can track your steps, and it can track your heart rate. Okay, that's all well and good, but the Aura Ring Gen 3 can detect your sleep stages with a sleep score, telling you how well you sleep. It can do your heart rate, a step counter, workout, intensity, and recovery needs based on your workout, women's health predictions and tracking using temperature sensors, body temperature detections for fever prediction, meditation session tracking, and it can go 7 days on a single charge. So all that in just a little thing you stick on your finger.
That's crazy.
Super impressive the things that we can do with such little amount of material now. We won't talk about where that material comes from or the
Does it decode
ethical
secret
dilemmas.
spy messages?
Well, you know,
Decoder rings were a big thing back in the day.
Gen 4 would be the R Ring 007. And we'll see what kind of stuff it can do.
I like it.
Going back to what we started the day out with was headphones. The Bose Quiet Comfort headphones, adaptive sound control. AI determines the sound to raise or lower the sound based on what kind of sound you're listening to. It has spatial audio, and it has something called custom tune, which will calibrate the sound to your ear shape. So every individual has a different ear shape, slightly different than the next person, and these headphones can actually adjust sound and tune it to your exact shape.
Interesting.
It also has AI noise cancellation, just in case you decide, well, I don't know how much personal calibration you have for it. I personally can think of a few people in my life that if I could tune the AI, I would not be hearing them anymore.
Ever.
And then there are some other people that I might turn up just a little bit. I also think these things are, big headphones. Think of Beats by Dre and things of that nature. But
think of the toilet plungers I was wearing earlier.
Yes, but stylish and sleek, and they look cool, and all those things.
Yeah.
I think I would have trouble with these because I would want to wear them all the time to cancel out so much noise in my life, just to tone it all down, and not necessarily people specifically, but I do a lot in industrial manufacturing facilities and automotive facilities and chemical plants, and you find a lot of noise there.
Sure, yeah.
So I like the idea of being able to cancel out the noise that isn't needed and keep the noise that is.
Yeah.
Speaking of industrial zones, the Proxgy Smart Hat. This is a hard hat. It has a camera on the front, camera on the back.
Yeah.
The camera on the front has an IR sensor.
Okay.
The camera on the back is 160 degrees. So this thing can see pretty well around you. It has a built-in walkie-talkie, a check-in function when you need to check into HQ. It has video streaming and calling. It can take pictures. It has a gas sensor that can detect 14 flammable and 3 toxic gases.
Wow.
It has an SOS switch, a battery blast prevention system, overhead proximity sensor, fall detection, geofencing, environmental sensors, and vital monitoring. So you take the wearable tech, get a little bit away from health and fitness, and now it's just safety.
Yeah.
You take it out to your job site, you're wearing this thing, guy falls down, maybe he's working on we have a chemical facility that we do business with that they have a bunch of trains that come in and out, and sometimes people have to climb on top of the trains to do this, that, or the other. If they fell off the train, the hard hat would then send a message back to HQ, hey, guy just fell off the train. Probably not exactly.
I should probably send it to the train conductor first.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's programmable where it sends messages, but the idea is that it is taking all of the safety precautions that you might normally have to have a second man for, sitting there watching production or in the environment or whatever, and now you can do it all with just a hat you put on, which cool. I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about pendants. There's a pendant called Limitless that records your whole day, transcribes and summarizes meetings, and has a consent mode. The idea behind the consent mode, which is, by the way, turned off by default. If you get one of these, I suggest you turn it on. The pendant listens to everything all the time, and the consent mode says, if it's turned on, if I hear somebody else's voice, I won't record their voice until they give me permission.
Oh, interesting.
Or at least that's what their advertising says they do.
Uh-huh.
Give or take how much it actually is listening or isn't listening.
So it just makes every day a telemarketer phone call where you call in and they're like, we're recording this for quality and safety assurance.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, Lord.
But I think the idea is if you're in a meeting, you're wearing a pendant, it records the whole meeting and then transcribes your meeting later for you with a summary so that you can be more productive. Or, in other words, you can be in the meeting and daydream and not have to worry about missing out.
Yeah, they'll say it promotes active listening, so you're not taking notes.
Yes. Going from there to the Body Log chest patch. This thing has a SpO2, beats per minute, BRPM, EKG, HRV, posture, and activity measurements. This thing, basically, it goes on your body and measures your heart, it measures your vitals, it measures the activity you're doing, and then it can report that back either to you or to medical professionals if needed.
But does it let you feel the gunshots if you're playing Call of Duty?
No, but there are bodysuits now that have, I think it's called haptic.
Okay.
They started out, I think they were gloves, where the idea behind the glove was it had sensors all over it and had different things that could mimic pressure. So if you're wearing the gloves and you're in a VR space, you could go and pick up a hammer and you would feel the hammer, even though it's not physically there. You'd feel it, so you wouldn't, close your fist the whole way, but you'd close it to where you feel the pressure like it is a hammer, and you could pretend to swing and see it with your headset that you're wearing.
Or your Meta Ray-Bans.
Yeah. So then they took the idea of the gloves and turned it into a bodysuit. So now when you're playing games, you can feel the things happening to you. Did you ever go to an arcade and do the roller coaster things? You'd lay on a bed and it would shake and move and do all these things.
I don't think so.
They started doing that probably 2000-ish, a little after the early 2000s. And then they progressively got better and better. So it was like every time you got on one of these things, it was like being on an actual roller coaster. Well, now with the bodysuits, it's like any game that has the functionality. You can start to feel the cold, or you can feel the pressure when you're rock climbing and you're moving your hands against the rocks, kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay.
So those bodysuits, the gloves, they're pretty cool. I think that was called haptic. Then you have the Starkey Genesis hearing aids. We talked about this a little bit before, but again with the hearing aids, they're always doing something to make it a little bit better. This can amplify sound, has AI for personalized hearing, has AI for environment adjustments, has speech enhancement, fall detection with emergency contact alert, and a physical activity monitor. So now you're talking about not just making someone who's deaf be able to hear a little bit better, but now someone who might be older in age and they fall, and you can send automatic alerts, SOS alerts, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they had that before. I remember that commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up.
But now you don't have to hit the little thing; it just happens.
And that's cool. It's
All right.
like OnStar for you.
Yes.
We've detected a fall. Are you okay?
So that's all the different kinds of technologies, the cool things that are happening. But I got one more for you.
Okay.
This is the one I said
scary one.
that was scary.
Okay.
About 7 years ago, a video came out of a company called Alter Ego.
Okay.
And this company basically wanted to introduce near telepathy. So about 3 or 4 months ago, I think it was in September actually, they released another video. They've been kind of silent for the last 7 years, but in September they released another video.
Yeah.
The concept behind Alter Ego is a set of sensors that measure your face muscles, detecting inside of your face and inside of your just facial structure the signals that are being sent for you to speak without you speaking, so that you can communicate to a machine or another person. The idea behind how it works is your brain sends electrical signals to your face, to your muscles, to move the muscles in your face and to move your tongue based on the words that you're going to say. Okay, there's an idea called silent speech or silent thought. As a kid, when you learn to read, that's what you're using. Is you first learn to say a word out loud, and then as you're getting older and you are reading better, you then transfer that out loud reading to inside of your brain, so that you don't have to actually read out loud anymore, but you still are reading all of the text in front of you. Okay, so silent speech with Alter Ego it measures those signals and the things. It measures those signals that are going to your facial muscles, determines the words you are going to use without you having to use them, and it sends a message to like an AI assistant basically that transcribes those words to the machine. That if someone on the other end was also wearing one of these gears or however the headset is or whatever it is, you would then they would have bone conduction to be able to hear the noise of you talking to them without you talking. Super scary.
Interesting.
Because I'm thinking,
how far is that range?
I think it's probably unlimited because it's not like you're sending NFC signals from one to the other. I think you're probably reaching through one of their servers or something in order to communicate to the
Wi-Fi or cell connection.
Yeah, and I haven't done a lot of research on this company yet to see all the ins and outs of the tech.
Yeah,
but seeing that, I was like, gosh, it's almost like it's reading your mind. Just a couple stages short of that. I mean, it's not measuring brain activity, so it doesn't know your thoughts, obviously, but it is measuring the activity in your nerves that sends the signals to your muscles.
So it could be completely off.
It could be.
It's taken them 7 years.
Yeah, it could be a total gimmick for all I know, but that's kind of the way that technology is headed, where we can do things we couldn't do before. You were talking about disabilities earlier. I think, think about somebody who has ALS or who has trouble speaking.
Yeah.
If they can just send the signals for words from their brain to their face without talking, now they can begin to communicate a little bit better. I almost wonder if that's very similar to like Stephen Hawking and how he was communicating. Who knows exactly how he was, but that's kind of the direction I think that technology is headed, is just changing the landscape for everyday things that not everybody can do. Now they can.
Yep. That's cool. That's a lot. We went from 18 or 19 somethings headphones to telepathy.
Near to it.
No? It's like an episode of Stranger Things. So. Okay. Well, I think, is that it? Is there any more?
That's the last one I got.
Okay. So what are we doing next week?
Let's see. I think next week we are gonna
drink more, we're going to talk more.
Yeah, we'll always have a little bit of that or a lot of it of that. But we will be talking about smarter homes and dumber people.
There you go. Okay.
So,
can't wear your house, so that's a whole different episode.
But yes. Yeah.
I guess we foreshadowed. So, basically, next week's episode is going to be which AI assistant will fuel our forthcoming Iron Man suit. Stay tuned. You'll find out.
As always, we're Tipsy Tech Talk. If you're going to drink responsibly. If you're going to drink NA beers,
just don't.
Yeah. Get the real stuff first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will see you next week.
Yes.